happens to be one of our investors. So
Hey.
we got it's like a double header here. So I am going to bring on our good friend LaTecia up. Want to say welcome,
Hey,
LaTecia. How are
hey.
you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. It is
That
so good to see you.
intro, man, I wasn't ready.
That's what we
Gotta
do.
love it. Welcome to the show.
Yes. Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
show.
Thank you.
Um, so we are live around the herd, and we appreciate you for joining us. We are currently streaming to a global audience. We've got
Okay.
at least several people around the world maybe tuning in, and we are grateful for them. But
Yes, indeed.
we are grateful for you as well, just for gracing us with your presence. We know you're very busy, but you got some amazing things going on, and we would love to hear. We're gonna got a few questions for you, but want to hear about sort of your founder journey, where you've been, what you've been up to, and then where you're going. Because I know that you've been transitioning here and there, and I'm sure you got some big things in the works. And if we can get the inside scoop here around the herd, then that would be a blessing. We would appreciate
Okay. I mean, where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
so, well, let's start. Let's start in Texas because B here,
Yes,
and
indeed.
I don't know that you've actually met B, but B, this
No.
is
No.
LaTecia, my
Hello.
long lost cousin. Claiming her as my cousin since
Nice. We
she's
all
living in
family
Johnson
right
as well.
here.
We're all
Love it.
family. We're all family. But LaTecia, are you from Austin?
I'm not. I'm originally from Tampa Bay, Florida.
Mm.
I have been in Austin though since 2017. And prior to that, I'd moved back to Tampa for a couple years. And then prior to that, I was in Dallas for a couple years. So,
Hey.
Texas is in my blood. And when I got the opportunity to move out to Austin, I actually had a choice between New York, Los Angeles, or Austin. And I chose Austin because it's central, right? It's in the center of the US. It's right in between both markets. Can get to New York in 3 hours, can get to LA in 3.5. And so for me, it was kind of like the perfect space to grow and build and expand, with the understanding that I could travel to either of those markets whenever I wanted. And that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years, building everything. So
Amazing.
Nice.
So B, being a Texan, I'll let you jump in with a follow up. But after that, LaTecia, definitely want to hear the origins of your entrepreneurship journey. How did you get started? But B, please go. You go first.
Oh, well, that's where I was gonna take it. But if we're staying in Texas, ooh, give me what you love most about Texas and what you hate most about Texas.
what I love about Texas is, like I
Uh,
said, it's in between both markets. I
okay.
love being in Austin. I also love just kind of like the melting pot that Austin
Mhm.
is. Being in Texas, Dallas, Houston, love those markets as well.
Mhm.
I think what I don't like about Texas is that, it's still Texas.
Whoa,
there, there
whoa, hold
there
Say
are
it.
on.
Say it.
experiences, right? Like we can't
Okay.
talk
All
about
right.
Texas without the political ramifications.
Okay.
And I
All
can
right.
say
All
that
right.
because I'm from Florida, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I had
Yeah,
to see
that's
where
quite a
she was
move.
going with this. I was
That's
like,
a lateral
okay,
move.
all right, all right, yeah, yeah,
I'm from
yeah, all right,
Florida, so I think political things
yeah.
notwithstanding,
Mm-mm-mm.
I think that's kind of like what I would say
Mhm.
is something that I didn't, that I don't, that
Yeah,
I'm still growing with, still
yeah,
growing.
yeah. You're in the capital, so you're gonna get it a lot more than I would over here. So no, that's completely understandable. So yeah.
So, LaTecia, can you tell us a little bit about your founder journey? How did you get started in entrepreneurship?
Oh man, I think like I didn't really have a choice but to be an entrepreneur. Both of my parents were entrepreneurs. Growing up, my mom was a realtor, my dad worked in construction. One of my earliest jobs was at his construction company, running the books, understanding marketing, understanding all of that. And I kind of just grew up with that at the forefront. And my dad is kind of old school, and he would always say the only power you got is the power you create.
Mm,
And so he really kind of instilled that in us from an early age, that like, yes, go to school, do all the things that you want to do, get the job, but also build your own thing. And so as I grew up with that as the forefront, I went kind of the opposite way of my sisters. They went to school, they had that. I was like, I want to be an artist. I'm going to be a creative. I'm going to build my own life. And that's kind of where my entrepreneurial journey started, because
mm,
being a songwriter, being a musician back in that time, I'm not going to age myself, but I'm a little older than I look. Um, it was probably like, I would say 2007, 2008. So Spotify had just launched, YouTube was just coming out, right? All of the tools that we have today, we didn't have back then. And so I really needed to be an advocate for myself as a creator. Growing up in a small market, Tampa back then isn't the market that it is now. And so that's kind of where entrepreneurship started for me, was through the lens of, okay, I'm in a small market. I want to be in the entertainment industry, but I don't want to move to LA. I don't
Mhm.
want to move to New York. What are my options?
mm,
And that's kind of where it started. And I started networking and doing different things that eventually led me to signing a development deal when I was about 19 years old. Spent a couple years in the music industry from that framework. And then um, at the end of the deal, was like, this isn't really for me. What
mm,
is for me? And I started to kind of look around and think through technology, entrepreneurship, knew that I had a love for both and wanted to figure out a way to integrate that into my work going forward. And so that's really where it started for me.
amazing. That is a powerful, powerful origin story and quite the foundation, right, to be building on. And I can definitely relate to sort of like growing as an entrepreneur in an ecosystem that is not necessarily prosperous and thriving, right?
Mhm.
But seeking opportunities elsewhere. Um, B, I'm going to throw it to you. We can
Yep.
alternate.
No, I'm here. So I would say with that, where was the confidence to essentially come out and go your own direction? Was that something you think was inherent within you from growing up, or is that something you think you've constantly had to work at throughout your life?
Um, my dad used to have this saying, and he still says it now. Do you want to be good, or do you want to be extraordinary?
Mm,
Mhm.
your
And
dad got
it's
all the
something.
sayings.
Yeah, out here like just dropping dimes and stuff like,
You
yeah,
know, so,
Yeah.
like, he
yeah,
would,
okay,
he I hated when he would ask me this question when I was
yeah,
younger, right? And I
mhm,
was I was an athlete, I played basketball, and I
mhm,
would be complaining about something, and he would listen to me complain, and he'd ask, like, "Do you wanna be good, or do you wanna be extraordinary?" The answer
Mm,
to that question was always, "I wanna be extraordinary." And so I do think it is inherent from the way that I was raised, and with the confidence that my parents instilled in me, that, like, you can be ordinary if you want, and that's the path, but that ain't the path for you.
mm,
So it was definitely, it's definitely something that just kind of came up through my upbringing. I was not raised to think that I was incapable of anything.
mm,
I was raised with the understanding that whatever I wanted to do, I could do, as long as I worked after it, like, go after it, make sure that you have the discipline and all of the elements and the tools at your disposal, but use them as a catalyst and go out and do it and at least try. And if you fail, then you have this place to come back to, but at least you tried.
love it.
true.
I love it. B knows I got a Jay-Z line for everything. Hove said,
Right.
loss ain't a loss, it's a lesson.
Hey,
Oh,
That's it.
I was gonna go with a different whole bar
Okay,
where it's,
please.
I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's
and
how
live
young.
dormant. That's two of
Yeah.
my favorites. Two
Wow.
of my favorites.
Wow. 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 Okay, we're gonna get into rappers soon. But okay, LaTecia. So Visionary Rising is your company.
It is, yes.
What is Visionary Rising and what are you up to now?
So, Visionary Rising is a creator studio and growth partner for brands, creators, and startups. And really, it's taking like the last 10 years I've worked. We haven't really gone into my career, but I've worked in tech for the last 10 years, spent the last year at Royal building, doing go to market strategy. And at the same time that I was building my tech career, I was also building the platform that is the creator studio with the understanding of like having services, a traditional agency services, but also having a partner that can really help you to navigate through every aspect of your career, whether you're building it as an individual founder, whether you're building it as a creator, or you're a brand who wants to start to partner and create authentic connections. We are a partner that can help you to do that. And so that's kind of the baseline for what Visionary Rising is, in a grand sense. At the smallest sense, it's just a partner to help people navigate the changing ecosystem of everything.
I feel like you need to flex on us right now. So what types of partners have you worked with at Visionary Rising?
Types of partners that we worked at Visionary Rising. I mean, it's really run the gamut. Um, One of our partners that I'm like the most proud of that we've worked with is Wethos. It's a virtual studio CRM for people who are building their studios, so you can get your proposals on there. You can understand how to just run your business, how to price. They have open format pricing, I mean, things like that. We started working with them when we were one of the first 100 people on their platform 2.5 years ago. They're now at 70,000 users. Um, we've worked with them for a number of years and just kind of partnering with them. We've partnered with Skillshare. I don't have them all off the top of my head. I can run through them all.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what I can do? I got your website up right here. So you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm looking at logos and all. So we got Wethos, Skillshare. You have a team. You have a team of 20 or so individuals all around the world. Is that true?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Mm, I love
How do
it.
you go about building an agency virtually in that way?
Yeah, so for me, it's like I worked at an agency for a year and a half, at different points in my career, and what I didn't like about the agency model, and I think everyone after the pandemic is kind of coming to this space of it, is like as a creator, working in a traditional sense is not for us, right? Our minds think differently. I could go to a desk job for 8 hours a day, but you're not going to get the best out of me.
Mhm.
And I just know that about myself. And so the way that I've built the studio is really as a platform. So it's more as a collective for the people who work with us. Do your best work, whatever that looks like, whatever hours that looks like for you. Do that will get you to do your best work, of course, within these parameters. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, you can do whatever you want. And so that's kind of the framework that I've built the studio around. And so we do have a global network of creators that are across the world. We have an art director who's joining us from Brazil beginning next week. He's done global brand work for Netflix and for a lot of different large brands, global brands. And one of the reasons that he said he wanted to come and work with the agency and work with our clients is for the flexibility and the freedom. And so it starts there, right? What are the types of projects that you want to be working on? What is the type of work that you want to be doing? And we'll go out and find that work and then help you to do your best work and to be your best self and have the work life integration that I think a lot of creators are wanting right now.
Understood. Powerful
Gotcha.
stuff.
Yeah. I feel like I got two things for you. So, first one, when you got the idea for this business, is this something that you experienced while you were in your process of creating? Like, is this kind of modeled after something that has helped you, or is this something that you felt like was missing and like, hey, I need to provide this to the market?
I did feel like it was missing.
Mhm.
So I've in in 2013, I worked at Nielsen Media, which, Nielsen is one of the larger kind of data aggregators in the world. But they provide data for like Billboard charts, right? The Billboard charts is what Nielsen provides data for. And while I was working there, I really loved the work, but I hated the fact that I had to go into an office 8 hours a day. When really I was probably only doing enough work for 4 hours, right? Like let's just be honest. Like I'm
Yeah.
here for 8 hours. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
trying
stretch
to
that
find
4 hour
things
work. Yeah.
to do. You got to stretch the hour. You got to stretch the
Uh-huh.
meetings.
Uh-huh.
And so I kept having these conversations with my mentors at that time, where it was like, of course, you're complaining, and one of my mentors is just like, you keep complaining about it. Why don't you go out and build it, right? And this was kind of before hybrid workplaces became the norm, or before people were really thinking about flex work. I started kind of putting those pieces together pretty early before the market changed. And at the time that I was like, hey, in 2016, I said I'm going to launch a digital studio. Everyone kind of looked at me like, oh, but you need a place. You need a physical place where people could go. And I was like, yeah, but I could either spend 5,000 for this place that no one's going to use, or I could put that toward actually growing the business. And so I decided to put it toward growing the business instead.
Nice.
Amazing. Making it stretch.
Yes, indeed. Second question for you. So you said it as a growing entrepreneur, it takes time to understand like how you work best, right? Like, what hours do you work? A typical 9 to 5 isn't necessarily how you work best. How long did it take you to figure out kind of like what your workflow was, and creatively wise, like, because different energy is going to hit you at different times throughout the day. How long did it take out to figure like, okay, these are my maximum times. These are the times and locations I need to be in order to maximize that productivity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think like I think it probably came a little bit more easier to me because I have the music creation background. And in music, you kind of build your creation process around the hours that you work the best at. And then you kind of start to build your life around, okay, if I'm going to be in the studio from 7 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., because that's the time that I'm going to get it done, then that means I got to do kind of all of these things. So it kind of just came very naturally to me through like very early in my career, having jobs that required me to be in the office, and then kind of flipping that switch for myself to be like, once I had my first remote job, I was like, I am never, I am never.
I get you.
My first remote job was 2014. Like I moved
Yeah.
to a remote role in Houston.
Oh,
And I was like,
man.
you're not ever getting me back into an office.
Yeah.
You're not
I
getting me back
remember.
into an office.
Yeah.
It's not happening. At most, you can expect like the 30 days for the onboarding. I'll give you that. But after that, and you build that trust, I'm out. But just know I'm going to get my work done. I'm going to do what needs to be done. And so that was kind of like, that's how I built my systems, what I built my things around.
Yeah.
And what I tell my team now is like, these are the hours that I'm going to be online.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to have meetings before 11 a.m., right? So the optimum amount of work that I'm going to do is between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. And I'm going to get out everything that I need to do in those 5 hours. And if you need me outside of that space, I'll be there. But like, this is what it is. And as I've grown in my career, kind of communicating that early and often, whether I was working in a role or not, I think people mostly just kind of respected that if they want to get the best out of me, these are the hours that they're gonna get me, because if you book a meeting at 10 a.m., I'll be there, but whether or not I participate is no, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I get that. And it's also coaching people on like how you like to be treated, right? Because I think it takes a moment, especially as a creative unfortunately, like, you're sensitive to a lot of things, but your sensitivity is also what gives you your strength. That's why you can create things.
Mhm.
So understand people like, hey, this is kind of like how I should be handled. And if you handle me outside of that, either I'm gone or I can't really work with you like that. So letting people know, like, hey, these are my hours. This is how I move. So I can help you be the best you and I can give you the best me. So I think that's just healthy for relationships in general, is just understanding just those boundaries. Because you can love to a point, but if I loved you more, then I'm not loving you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you for 3 hours. You get me to 3:05, we are having a completely different story.
Because then your brain just shuts down, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we've gone, especially like this year, we're testing out just async communications internally, which is like document the things that you need, get eyes on it. If we need to book the 15-minute meeting, let's book the 15-minute meeting. I've kind of thrown away recurring meetings with and trying to build a culture that meet as needed. Because I also found that like if you have a lot of recurring meetings, you're going to hold things until that meeting. And then an hour meeting becomes an hour and a half meeting because you've been holding these things for a couple days. Whereas if you're just meeting 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and you're getting the answers that you need more quickly, it creates that kind of that ease in the communication and builds that culture. But stuff like that, I think, starts from the top down. If exactly. If my team is zapped of energy because I've taken up an hour and a half of their time, they can't then turn around and go out and produce really great work for clients because that also takes a lot of time. So I try to, go do away with the meetings that are recurring and unnecessary, build a meet as needed culture, and then also just respect the way that people tell you they need to work.
No,
Love it. I love it. Do you happen to have like I don't know, some kind of like webinar series or an ebook, to train corporations? Because I feel like they're missing out on that. They don't understand
I'm
how.
working on it. No, but for real, I am working on it. But but I
no,
do. I think that a lot of corporations, and like I've been inside a lot of large corporations, and a lot of them miss out on just getting the best out of their workers or their employees because they're so set on like putting them into these set parameters. I've been a people leader for the last 7 years within organizations, and my team are always the highest performing teams. I became known as the turnaround person because they would kind of put me with a team that was having issues and they're having critical errors and they're doing all of these things. And within 60 days, they're like completely turned around, have the least amount of errors. And it's like, what? It's you listen to the people, you give them the things that they need, they're gonna show up for you. They're gonna not only show up for you, they're gonna excel because they want to return that back to you.
Yeah. Huge.
I love it. I love it.
And Kenneth over here shouting out the 15-minute meets. No, 15 minutes are beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, because nothing's worse than being in a meeting. And I think as a higher performer, like you already know like all the things that you have to do in your head. And then once you're in that meeting, you register like this isn't actually that productive. So you're not even in the meeting. You're just thinking about all the things you have to get back to. And it's like a running clock in your head. So it's like as soon as you're out of that meeting, you're sprinting back. And now you're trying to get caught up rather than,
You're trying to get caught up, and then also
Yeah.
look at all the money that's wasted by the organization because you have 7 of your highest performers on a call that try just wasting their time, right? Like that's money, it's your bottom line. I'm gonna be here, but I just find like it's more effective to give people the space and the freedom that they need, give them their time back. They're gonna go around and turn around and deliver even more back to you.
Yeah. No, most definitely.
Absolutely. So I see on your website you worked with Austin City Limits. You've also worked with Boxed Water. Pretty big deal. And I can't find it right now, but I'm pretty sure somewhere on the site I saw something that said like we're the firm you hire when the firm you hired ran out of ideas. I was like,
That's
this
hard.
is incredible. This
That's
wow.
hard.
Talk about knowing your customer.
Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people come to us, and I think, you know, startups and brands especially come to us after they have had a bad experience with other agencies. And I think the difference between a growth partner and a traditional agency is that as a growth partner, I can sit down with you and look at your roadmap and tell you exactly the tools that you'll need. And maybe all of that will be found in the agency, but more than likely it's going to be us partnering with other firms that we know that can deliver on it. So if we're delivering a growth strategy and you need a digital marketing person, you can go out and source your own digital marketing agency. But if I'm your growth partner and I have a network of digital marketers who are going to give me a discount for services because I send so much stuff to them, I can now help you to grow. You save money on the bottom line, you meet your needs, and then when it's time to get like that next thing, we can look and approach that together. A lot of times what ends up happening is people are not trying to solve for the problem. They're trying to they're trying to put a band-aid on it. And so when you solve for the problem, that sometimes means looking deeper into and finding a solution. And sometimes that solution is like, hey, we're not the agency that can deliver this for you, but we can find the agency that will partner with them to make sure that you're getting all of the value that you need.
Amazing.
No, I mean, it's, well, the way I view life like creatively is like through a fitness lens, right? So it just hits home as to, well, one, I like to be the trainer. It's like somebody's had a bad experience as a personal trainer or like been in personal training where like their trainer previously just beat them all up. And I was like, dope. Will you die from a workout? Possibly. Is my goal to kill you through that workout? No, I want you to get stronger. You know, you got stronger that day, right? To like, if you were moving previously and you've been getting hurt, then there's something within that movement that we have to change in order to make sure you move better, you move in pain free, right? So I just look at that through what you're talking about of just like, hey, you're coming to me. There's something that you've missed previously, or whoever you've been working with has missed previously, which is why you're still looking for somebody. So
And
I
we
love
want
that
you to
approach.
succeed so we can
Yeah,
put you on the
exactly.
site in our case
Mhm.
studies, right? Like
Yeah,
our team approaches like every new client is a case study.
yeah.
And that's not from a perspective of like,
Mhm.
hey, you're going to be a case study, but from the perspective of like what we delivered yesterday, like that was yesterday. And I've been saying a lot, like I'm very proud of the work that I've done up until this point in my career. It's been really good work and I'm very proud of it, but it's not my greatest work. And when I tell my team that, they're like, what? Like, you're crazy. I'm like, but if I subscribe to this idea that my greatest work is behind me, I'm never going to keep pushing to create the greatest work that lays ahead
Mhm.
of me. And so I kind of instill that within my team as well. It's like every creator that comes through the door, we kind of throw out anything that we've done before because what we worked for that creator is not going to matter. Like we know the systems, you know, all of these things, but like, what do you want? What is your audience telling you? Okay, let's build a system that's going to work for you and get some knowledge, get some success there. And then when someone else comes to us, we're not going to just replicate the strategy that we've built for you on them. We're going to ask them the same set of questions and figure out what's the best kind of connections and tools that will help them to achieve it.
Yeah. No, I would say even with that, during that process of growing, it's annoying because I feel like sometimes like the goalpost shifts, right? Because as you're going towards that goal, you're smarter, you're getting better, you're getting more efficient. But also, as you do that, you realize that the goal that you originally set is actually a very short one, right? So you start thinking bigger, just like why go like stay local? Why can't I go state? Why, okay, if I'm going state, why can't I go national? If I'm going national, why can't I just go global? You know what I'm saying? So I think, yeah, every, yeah, as we like to talk about, yesterday's price is not today's
Not today's price.
price. Like things change and you get better. So as you get better within your space, like why not just keep on pushing for uh just pushing forward. So you just got to make sure that you're staying present within the moment and make sure you're going after what you.
That's true. And like one of our core things that we always ask in like during our onboarding process is like, what is your vision for the company? Or what is your vision for whatever? And people like they tend to kind of hold themselves back. And I'm like, no, like don't hold yourself back. What
I
is
need
your
all of
vision?
it.
You
Yeah.
know, like tell us your vision. And then it's up to us to synthesize that into a strategy that's going to get you there. It may not get you there tomorrow, right? But it's good for us to know so that we can then create, like you said, the goalpost that is going to be able to tell us, are we getting incrementally closer, right? If your goal is to get to acquire 10,000 users in the next 12 months, but you don't say that, how can we measure whether or not you're getting incrementally closer to that?
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you're doing well. The business is doing well. I'm sure there's no shortage of there's no shortage of clientele who are beating down your door. We got your QR code up right now, so traffic hopefully is driving to the website. If anybody is watching and you got your phone out, you can scan the QR code and visit the Visionary Rising website. But as B said, yesterday's price is not today's price. So you done heard all the different projects and companies that the firm has worked with. So, let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for clients who have a budget, right? And want to do some serious work. So serious inquiries only. But LaTecia, do you want to give just a quick plug for the type of clients that you are looking for moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what you said, right? Budget and who are committed, right? I think when we are looking for that, whether it's a creator or a brand or a startup, like our criteria across all of those different sectors they change. But I think the whole thing starts with like commitment. You need to be committed to achieving your goal, and we're going to get you there. So that's kind of where it starts at.
Amazing. So everyone, please visit the website. And LaTecia, where can people find you online, on socials?
Well, on social, I am LaTecia Rising across everything, LaTecia Rising across everything. And then the company, you have the link up there, but it's visionaryrising.agency across everything.
Awesome. Well, thank you, LaTecia, for dropping some major gems. We're going to send you a Black Unicorns shirt.
I've been waiting, I'm inducted. I love it.
We got you. We got you.
I got the Premium Equity mug. I drink it every morning. It reminds
me. I love it. Flex on
that mug.
That
mug is different levels, but
different,
I
right?
appreciate this conversation tonight and love what you guys are doing. And I'm
so
proud to be an investor of this amazing platform and company.
We thank you. And we are here to support you for the long term, of course, as well. But for everyone, please, again, support LaTecia, support Visionary Rising, follow her online, social media, visit the website, all that kind of good stuff. She's absolutely a Black unicorn in the flesh. So we are here to help each other win. LaTecia, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
And we will see you another time around the herd. We're going to have you back, and we're going to have to talk some artists that you've worked with and what that whole thing is about.
Yeah, I was like,
I was about to say, let her flex a little bit more.
Well, okay, next time.
we can have part 2. We appreciate you for your time, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
All right, see you. All right. Wow. Major keys, major gems dropped.
Jeez. She learned keys from a young age. Pops was just dropping gems all over the place.
Oh man, I was like, I'm trying to take all the notes.
I was about to say, her second time around, she's bringing Pops on.
Listen, yeah, right.
We need to meet this.
That would be incredible. That'd be incredible. But yeah. So the one I have down is: do you want to be good? Or you want to be extraordinary? Man.
He also dropped the only power you have is what you create. I was like,
I love that one too. They were all great.
Set the mic on fire there.
Yeah. It was just could have stopped there. And called it a night. But that was amazing. Everyone tuning in, we're gonna be uploading this recording so you can watch it again as many times as you would like. Share it with a friend. Support LaTecia. Visit the website. Follow her online. Get yourself a Black Unicorn tee. We're going to be sending her a Black Unicorn tee for sure. But
Or pay me an equity mug.
Or pay me an equity mug.
Or in coffee.
What else we got? We listen. Because if you get the mug, you're going to need the coffee.
Yes, indeed.
You're going to need something to put inside of the mug. You can't just have an empty mug.
Mm-hmm.
So why not support BVP Coffee Co., which also supports HBCU student scholarships. So you buy a bag, we donate a bag to HBCU scholarships. So we help young professionals,
yes, indeed,
stay in school. It's expensive to go to school. It's expensive to stay in school. We want to make sure that students can go, can stay, and can graduate. All right. So coffee is one of the ways that we do that. Selling merch is one of the ways that we do that.